The man who lived 9 lives and remembered them all. They say when a man dies, he forgets. But Chief Nnaemeka Okoye remembered everything. He sat under the shade of an old udala tree in his compound in Nui, his white shirt crisp against the blackness of his trousers, a stubborn symbol of the life he had earned and the secrets he carried. His eyes, though, betrayed no peace. Behind them danced the memories of 9 lives, each more extraordinary than the last. At 50, his face bore the calm of wisdom, but inside him was a storm of time and terror, of joy and journeys long past. He hadn't always lived in this body. Before this, he had died 8 times. The first life came to him in fragments, ancient and foggy. He was a warrior in the old Benin Empire, standing tall with a spear and shield. His name was Ojiso. He remembered falling in battle, pierced by an enemy's arrow. He died clutching the soil, promising his spirit would rise again. And it did. He woke up centuries later in a dusty Hausa village, reborn as Ibrahim, a quiet boy who talked too much about places he had never seen. He would carve shapes into the sand, maps of cities long gone. They said he was strange. He called it memory. That life ended in a fever that no medicine could cure. But the fever didn't kill the memories. In his third life, he was in the Congo, a trader named Mola who could predict rain before it fell. He married a woman with eyes like the moon and named their daughter Hope. The night he drowned in a river trying to save a stranger, his last breath carried a single word, again. Life 4. A preacher in Jamaica. Life 5. A soldier in World War I who swore he had never touched a gun before, yet handled it like he'd been born with it. In every life, his soul carried the past like a packed suitcase. Unopened, but always present. By the 6th life, he stopped trying to deny it. He was a writer in Paris who published a novel about a warrior in the Benin Empire and shocked the world with historical accuracy he couldn't explain. He told them it was fiction. But he knew it was memory. When he was reborn into the body he now wore, a boy born in eastern Nigeria to a woman named Ngozi, he wept in the delivery room. Not out of pain, but out of recognition. He had returned to his roots. Nnaemeka was different from the start. At age 5, he began drawing symbols on the walls of his mother's house, symbols from cultures he had never studied. He told his classmates stories that sounded made up, until one day a professor visiting from the University of Nigeria overheard and froze in shock. The tales he told were exact oral histories of lost tribes. By 20, Nnaemeka had stopped denying the truth, he remembered everything. He started writing it down. Not just for himself, but for the world. His book, 9 Lives, My Journey Through Time, became a sensation, though many thought it was just brilliant fiction. He didn't correct them. But some believed. One old woman in Calabar read the book and traveled hundreds of kilometers to see him. She told him, "You were my husband, Bola. You died in that river. I knew you'd return." She gave him a small carved pendant. He gasped, it was his, from that life. The same mark. The same crack near the edge. He held it like a ghost. Not all his memories were beautiful. He had seen war. He had taken lives. He had watched his own children die in some lives. And sometimes, at night, he would scream in languages his current family couldn't understand. His wife, Adis, once tried to record it. A linguist friend translated it. It was ancient Kushite, extinct for over 1,000 years. The government took notice. Then the scientist. Then the foreign journalist. Some called him a fraud. Others, a miracle. They put electrodes on his scalp, tested his dreams, analyzed his DNA. They couldn't explain it. But the truth didn't need proving. Nnaemeka lived each day carefully now, not out of fear, but of respect. He believed he was on his final life. He said there was something different about this one, like the circle was closing. He felt it in the air, in the way the birds watched him, in the way time sometimes slowed around him. One afternoon, sitting under the udala tree, he called his son, Chidi, to his side. He said, "My boy, if I die tomorrow, know that death is not the end. But memory is a heavy gift. You must choose whether to carry it or let it go." Chidi asked him, "How will I know if I lived before?" Nnaemeka smiled, touched his chest, and whispered, "If you ever feel something calling you that you cannot name, that is your soul remembering the path." And with that, he closed his eyes. He is still alive today, they say, though he no longer gives interviews. He only writes. He sits under the tree, listening, waiting, and maybe preparing for life 10. Or for peace, at last.